Yeah, today we're going to talk about 4 reasons you need to do scenario planning. Many people think scenario planning is only for business or government, and they couldn't be more wrong about that. Scenario plan is also for individuals. And by scenario planning, we mean we get to think about what might happen in the future. There's no doubt that both of these groups, government and business, need to do scenario planning. But so do you. Scenario planning allows you to think about changes that could upset your life. As a good friend of mine is fond of saying, you're only one phone call away from disaster. Now, wouldn't it be a great idea that you thought about what some of those disasters might be? Hi, I'm Josh Patrick, and I'm a founding principal here at Stage 2 Planning Partners. So let's jump in to look at the 4 things you need to do. Number 1, rehearsal makes the real thing less scary. If that phone call comes, your life could be turned upside down. I bet that if you spent a little time thinking about it, you could identify 4 or 5 things that would be the most likely reasons your world would change, and probably not change for the better. If you spend a little time in mental rehearsal about what you do, if and when the real thing happens and that phone call comes, you're going to be ahead of the game. So here's number 2. Change is part of your life. I know that you don't like change. There really aren't very many people who do like it. At the same time, you know that change is part of your life. Whether you want it or not, change is going to happen. And sometimes you get to pre-plan for changes, and sometimes changes are forced on you. In either case, getting ready for what change might mean and how you'll respond is all part of scenario planning. It's not that something is going to happen. The real question is when it's going to happen. So here's number 3. What if you're not happy with your present situation? And this is my favorite type of scenario planning. When I'm unhappy with the situation, I get to think about what a different scenario might mean. I get to write down what I need to do for the change to occur. Wouldn't you like to have the ability to make your life better? If you're unhappy with where you are now, you can change it. It's up to you, and if you do some planning, the change might not feel so big. The key here is to chunk down the parts of change to manageable pieces, meaning make it into small pieces that you can work on. It won't be so big and scary if you do that. So here's a question for you. Do you have changes coming to your life? Lots of time we know that a change is going to come. But lots of time we don't do anything until the change forces us to take action. And then we might not take any action at all. We just freeze. Don't be afraid of changes that could happen. You might be sad, and that's only natural. We call planning for change that you know is going to happen triage. This is where you get the chance to do some planning ahead of time. Triage is all about scenario planning. You know a change is about to happen, and you take charge. You get to think about what you're going to do and not just what's going to happen to you. In the end, scenario planning is not that difficult. Just think about what could happen, then think about the 3 or 4 different things that you can do about it. If the event happens, it's not going to be so scary because you've already had your rehearsal and now you're ready to take action. So here's something that we do here at Stage 2 Planning Partners that's really important when it comes to scenario planning. We make it part of your financial plan. We don't just give you one scenario about what's going to happen in the future. We help you think about 3 or 4 other things. We plan for it, and then we see if it makes sense for you. So now that you're ready to take some action, I want you to spend some time. Thanks for spending some time with us today. And I hope you like what you heard and are ready to take control of the changes in your life. This is Josh Patrick, and I want to thank you for visiting us at Stage 2 Planning today. And oh, by the way, we have a workbook you might be interested in. This workbook will help you work through the different scenarios you could choose if an event happens that forces your life to change. If you'd like to get a copy of this workbook, just click on the button below and we'll have it on its way to you as soon as possible. And again, thanks so much for stopping by. This is Josh Patrick, and we hope to see you back here really soon again.